Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. On this auspicious occasion of Dev Uthini Ekadashi, where Lord Vishnu has woken up after 4 months of sleep, and we will celebrate Tulsi Vivah, and all the Hindu families, they will get a go ahead to schedule and organize any of the important function after from this day. So I was just thinking about making a video on some spiritual topic, because as you know, Jupiter is currently transiting in the Pisces sign and in my chart in the 12th house. So these days I am very much fascinated towards topics like aura, dream interpretation, transcendental meditation, or out of the body astral travels. So I was initially thinking about making a video on the topic of yoga of renunciation, so-called sannyas yoga. But guys, when I tried applying all the dictums of the sannyas yoga in the charts of lot many spiritually elevated people and saints, I was not able to well connect with those dictums. Like the way it has been explained in our astrology books is that for this yoga to fulfill, you need to have more than 4 planets being placed in one zodiac sign or in one house. And there are certain combinations which involve divisional charts as well. Like if you will find your first house lord of the D9 chart and first house lord of the D1 chart in specific alignments, that can give rise towards the sannyas yoga. But guys, when I try to authenticate all these yogas in the charts of the most elevated, world known saints and spiritually elevated people, I was not able to relate well with all these dictums and seeing the resonance in their chart. Now that is very much like obvious that if something is meant to happen in your life, your whole chart has to be indicating in that one pinpointed direction. Like many times what happens is that driven by the force of any ongoing transit, that kind of gives this confusion or misunderstanding to people that whatsoever is happening in that point of time, that could be their destiny. But there is always a difference between getting just distracted by the short stay of a planet in a specific house, comparing it when you have got a destiny to fulfill in one specific direction. So, and guys, these days we are living in such a modern times where there has been so many new age spiritual mentors and guides and coach, and I keep on coming across and seeing interviews and in different podcasts where people are very much invested and they're successful in their professional career, but at the same time they are very much regular and very rigorous in their spiritual practices as well. So definitely the definition of looking at these sort of sannyas yoga needs to be amended. So that is the only reason I thought, okay, today I'm not well prepared to talk on this topic or present a video on this topic. So what could be other topic on which we can talk? So then I thought that if we have to talk on the subject of spirituality, what could be a better planet to talk about other than the planet Saturn? So in this video, we will try to understand that if Saturnian energies are going to be functioning in its highest of the potential, then being placed in different houses, what kind of results it can manifest. Now friends, try to understand over here. Here I will not be giving any emphasis on in which zodiac sign Saturn is placed in your chart, because definitely Saturnian energy, if you have to understand it on the basis of the zodiac sign just kinds of give a theme or a pattern or a difference in the behavior of the manifestation of the energy of a planet, but in which specific direction and in which specific attribute a planet will deliver result, it will manifest result, that is all dependent on in which house a planet is placed. And definitely guys, when we talk about attaining and doing something very big, achieving something substantial, being in this state and in this position to uplift and influence the masses, the whole world, you need to have a strong Saturn in your chart. You need to have the blessings and grace of Saturn in your life. So guys, we will try to place Saturn in all the 12 houses, and we will try to understand that if this planet of justice, planet of karma, planet of hardship and discipline, is happy in our life, what could be the highest of the gifts and blessings this planet can bestow in our life? So guys, now let's place the planet Saturn in the first house. Now what I have seen is that I have seen this alignment in the charts of so many presidents, so many CEOs. So in short, if you will find Saturn to be placed in the first house and your whole life is filled with discipline, you work and you live your life with complete humility, and you have completely devoted your life towards the service to the humanity, and Saturn is well dignified, well placed in your first house, and all the planetary alignments is positively contributing to it, so then this can indicate that when we talk about the give and take, so if you are giving whatsoever Saturn demands in the form of discipline and hard work, so it can actually give you position and power where you will have this prospects, or you will have this provision to handle some very big responsibilities. So like the way I already mentioned this thing, I've seen this placement in the charts of a well placed Saturn in the first house in the charts of so many presidents of different countries and people who reach the top of the corporate ladder, so like CEOs and all of that. So definitely if you will find Saturnian energy to be working in its higher octane, it can actually give you, being placed in the first house, this capacity to shoulder big responsibilities. Now let's move to the second house. Now guys, with the second house placement of the Saturn, here I will talk more about the esoteric or mystical side of the planet Saturn. So what I have seen is that in many cases, people who have a very strong place Saturn in the second house, somehow they gain very strong power over their speech, like the way we say this thing as Vak Siddhi. So these people, now whether we talk about blessing which can come out of their mouth or the curse which can come out of their mouth, tend to have very strong potency, tend to have very strong power in it. So Vak Siddhi is something which can be attached with a very strong, well placed planet Saturn in the second house. That is the only reason guys we say this thing, that there are those astrologers and fortune tellers who read your palm, they study your numbers, they study your astrology chart, and then they predict things. And there are those yogis, there are those psychics and mystics, they are so potent, they are so powerful that what they say, that happen. So this sort of Vak Siddhi is something which, if Saturn is well placed in your second house and Saturn is happy with you, it can bestow this extent of power. Now guys, let's move to the third house. So third house, special gift or blessings which can come from the planet Saturn is that it can give you a power to be a pioneer. So to be first in your field, like whatsoever field you take into consideration, like every day we keep on coming across innovation, invention happening in different segments. So like the way, this is a universally known fact that Saturn's well dignified placement in the third house can support many people with their entrepreneur goals. Like you want to start something on your own without any support from your family and do something on your own. So same way guys, if Saturn is going to be well placed and it in its highest of the dignity, purest of the dignity, well placed Saturn in the third house can make you, or it has the power to make you a pioneer or to be first in your field. Now guys, when we talk about the highest potential of a well placed Saturn in the fourth house, so just because guys, like fourth house which has been attached with the masses, this is also the house which represents throne as well. So because of which, and somehow fourth house has got the qualities of the moon as well. So because of which, when we talk about the collective psychology, collective psyche, collective emotions, so definitely these are among those people who have the potential and power to move the masses. So again guys, there are certain combinations which can make you famous, and there are those combinations which can make you a very respectful figure, very inspirational figure, and your power and potential to move the world because of your karma, because of your actions. So this is the highest of the state via which Saturn can bestow result if it is going to be placed in your 4th house. Now guys, when we talk about Saturn being placed in the 5th house, so now what has been seen that it can give you definitely the power of creation for sure. Now here when we talk about creation, so we are not only talking about from the family perspective. Here we are talking about this could be a business, this could be an idea which can be converted into a multi-million business venture. But guys, the catch over here is that 5th house in the original Kalpurush Kundli belongs to the arch enemy of the planet Saturn, which is the sun, in the form of carrying the energy of the Leo. So here Saturn can give you the power of creation, but something which is going to be challenging the status quo. So whatsoever is the existing norm, whatsoever your creation is going to be, it will challenge those existing norms, or it can actually outshine the existing norm. So this is what the highest and the purest state via which Saturn can bestow results. Now guys, when we talk about Saturn being placed in the 6th house, so I have seen this in the charts of so many people. Like, see, the general human psychology is that we try to secure ourselves, our family, which is a normal human behavior. But even in the face of any crisis, any war, we keep on coming across all those professionals like doctors or lawyers who go to all these war affected zone, and they voluntarily offer their services. Now friends, that's very obvious, because the more there is going to be risk, the heftier is going to be your paycheck as well. But even after that, there are those actual percentage of people as well who go there just to serve unconditionally. So because of which, with this kind of well placed Saturn in the 6th house, it can actually give you this power to serve, like serving on the highest of the potential, and definitely which can give rise to then all those people, because of their sacrifice or because of their service, they are considered for the Nobel Prize, they are considered for the political positions. So yes, when we talk about the power to serve on highest of the plane, that is the kind of potential which Saturn, if well placed in the 6th house, it can offer you, or it can bestow that. Now guys, when we talk about Saturn's dignified placement in the 7th house, so many times it has been seen that this is a very ideal combination which can give wealth to the highest of the level. Now definitely for wealth to be getting promised in the chart, there has to be other combinations, like how Venus is contributing, how Rahu is contributing, which all nakshatras are in the forefront. But individually, because in this video I'm just giving you this insight that in the highest of its state, to what extent and in which direction Saturn can grant you results. So definitely 7th house Saturn can actually make you very wealthy. Now guys, when we talk about Saturn being placed in the 8th house, and if Saturn is happy with you, Saturn wants to bless you, so what could be the highest of the potential to which this planet can go? So definitely friends, 8th house is a very esoteric house. This is the house of samadhi, this is the house of renunciation. Along with, see, try to understand the difference between the esoteric aspect of the 8th house and the 12th house. 8th house energy is something which we hide from the world, and 12th house energy is something which is hidden from us. Now this could be understood in this way, that 8th house mysticism is something which you can get your hands on, like definitely something which is taboo, something which is hidden, something which is esoteric, but you can reach till there. When we reach the 12th house, you cannot access it. Those energy and astral entities only can communicate with you. The first communication will only take place from their end. So definitely guys, 8th house Saturn, if it is working on its highest of the plane, it can give you the awareness. Like when we talk about the peak or epitome of spirituality, so here we talk about your awareness is not only restricted to the human plane, but also like when we talk about different creatures as well, like whether this could be animals, this could be birds, this could be trees. So being in attune, your awareness is going to reach to that extent that you can get the knowledge of the secret functioning of the universe as well. Now guys, when we talk about Saturn, if it is going to be well placed in the ninth house, so the highest potential of Saturn in the ninth house is that it can actually give you power to inspire the world. Now here we are talking about that definitely your actions, your karma is going to be something that it is going to be like you will be seen as a role model, and other people will actually see you as a symbol of inspiration. So this is the kind of maximum extent of power which Saturn can bestow being in the ninth house. Now guys, when we talk about the 10th house, now definitely 10th house Saturn can actually give you that power to be respectful in the society, in the community. So again guys, try to understand this thing. When we talk about fame, so being famous is one thing. There are those people that even like now you say by hook or crook, by opting any questionable means, they reach the position of power. But even irrespective of being on the top of the throne, still the moment they are going to turn their back, everyone is going to be abusing them, everyone is going to be criticizing them. But when we talk about that, your name becomes a symbol of respect. So this is the kind of potential and power which Saturn carries within it, and if it is going to be well placed in the 10th house, it can actually give you power that you will command respect out of your actions, out of your persona, out of your deeds in the society, in the community. Now guys, when we talk about the highest octane or powers which Saturn can bestow if it is going to be placed in the 11th house. So definitely guys, this is a kind of a alignment which can actually give you very powerful connections. Now we are living in that day and age. Now it hardly matters whether you are living in a third world country or whether you are living in an advanced country. Connections is something which actually acts like the like every system. If you see the veins as the system, so the blood which flows within it is the actual connections which people hold. So definitely if you have a well placed Saturn in the 11th house, and if it is working on a higher octane, higher plane, then actually it can give you connections with very powerful people in the society, in the community. Now friends, when we talk about Saturn being placed in the 12th house, so guys, I have already given you this hint that see, 12th house is something which is hidden from us, and like the way I started this video with this helplessness of mind, that I actually wanted to make a video on the yoga of renunciation, of sannyas, but I did not have the enough case studies with me to present that. But definitely 12th house is the typical house of renunciation, of sannyas. Like people say that 8th house also hold this potential, but I would say for anyone to completely renounce all the worldly ties, 12th house has to be in the forefront. Definitely guys, and it's not only that. See, you have to understand this thing, like when you are in that path of celibacy or in that path of renunciation, so all of your medical needs, all of your food needs somehow is also dependent on donations and on charity. So unless and until your 12th house is not supporting you, the energies on the other plane will not be willing to establish a connection with you. You will not remain lucky on this worldly plane to receive right set of donations, to remain strengthened in your religious austerities, and overall this will not be a supporting sign. So I would say that a well placed Saturn in the 12th house is a typical combination which can give you power to do astral communication, and it can give you a spiritual awareness of highest of the level. So friends, I know that this video might not be sufficed, but again here we are talking about the planet which in itself represents greatness, which represents doing things on a very grand way. So definitely with its placement in all different houses, you have to be aware and you have to be consciously welcoming enough to this fact that to what extent if Saturn is happy with you, it can take you in the life. So this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.